show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
And good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Drop Zone, brought to you by Doobie. And we have again with you again, your hosts Anthony Young and Jeff Walsh. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. A little bit tired. Work has been killing me recently, but the NBA playoffs have been keeping me entertained for sure. NFL draft is coming on, but other than that, I am doing pretty good. How are you?
Uh, Not too bad. Back still bothering me. But other than that, pretty good.
That's good. Yeah, like I said, NBA playoffs have been exciting. Um, very unpredictable. I think is probably the best word to put it. Um, and the NFL draft is over. I know you're definitely pretty happy with how your Giants did. We're going to talk about that, and whatever other news um, com- comes about. But that's all we got for the episode today.
Well, the playoffs and the drafts don't take up pretty much majority of the time anyway, so.
Yeah. And speaking of unpredictable, this is probably my most shocking of the playoffs so far. The Pistons are down 3-1 now to the Magic after their most recent 88 to 94 loss on the 27th. I'm shocked that the Magic are up 3-1 right now. Absolutely stunned. Um, I did not think this series was going to be this way. It's really exposing the Pistons that their offense obviously is just really Cade Cunningham, and for some reason Jalen Duren is getting shut down by Wendell Carter Jr. He's having an effect on him for whatever reason. So Game 5 is about to start actually right now. So we'll see if the Pistons can keep their season alive at home. And if not, I would be absolutely stunned if the Magic beat them in 5. But um, again, it's kind of just really exposing the Pistons and their flaws right now.
Again, I know we discussed it last when the playoffs started, and I made the point, that the Pistons need more help. And once again, it's basically just the same two people that's actually just, that has shown up for the playoffs, which is Tobias Harris and Cade Cunningham. Um, those are the only ones that are basically pretty much are in double figures every night. Uh, Jalen Duran has basically did a disappearing trick. We don't know what he disappeared to. And Orlando's just been basically having a balanced attack where, they've had a few players that are in double digits more than the Pistons are. So yeah, excuse me. Yeah, it's looking pretty rough for the Pistons. I don't see them. They may win one more game, but it's going to take everybody to actually get their heads out of their ass to win this series. And we can't blame Tobias Harris and Cade Cunningham because they're doing everything they can.
Yeah, Harris always got slack in Philadelphia, but for his career, he's averaging over 16 points per game in the playoffs, which is pretty damn good. The only saving grace for the Pistons is that Franz Wagner on the Magic, he has a right calf strain. Um, so if he does play tonight, he'll be a bit compromised. He won't be at full strength. So he might not play. So that'll be the only maybe real opportunity to win is that Franz Wagner will possibly not be playing tonight. Uh, but yeah, I mean, Suggs had a bad game for the Magic, but it didn't matter because other than Harris or Cunningham, pretty much the entire rest of the Pistons team did not show up once again. Um, the Sixers, Embiid is back, and they are now up three. Or no, they're not up. They are still down 3-2, but they just took Game 5 in Boston pretty handily, 113-97. Now I know people kind of make fun of Paul George, but he's been really consistent in this series. He hasn't topped 20 points yet, but he's been a consistent 17, 17, 16, 18, 19 type of player. And that's what you're going to get out of him at 30 something years old. But you have Embiid, who's younger than him. You have Edge Coleman, Maxey, who's younger than him, who can do more scoring. But I am impressed with Paul George and just how consistent he's been in the shooting aspect as well. But the Sixers stunned the Celtics, I would say, because I did not expect them to win this game at all. It was in Boston. I expected the Sixers to absolutely just get manhandled, but they did the opposite, and they were doing the manhandling. Embiid with 33 big points on 12 of 23 shooting. He did not make a three, but it was his second game back from injury. Maxey chipped in with 25, and Grimes off the bench with 18 was very influential in the win. Again, I did not expect them to win this game at all. I expected it to be a blowout for the Celtics, but not in this fashion. I expected it to be the other way around. But it'll be Game 6 in Philadelphia.
Yeah, this is a series that I did not see going 6 games at all, and it could possibly go 7. And B coming out, none of us actually thought Embiid would actually be back in time for any of the games in the playoffs, and now he is, and he's actually made a difference. Um, yeah, Paul George again, doing what he does during the playoffs. Tyrese Maxey, I mean, this kid has stepped up. Grimes, the ex Knicks, has stepped up. So yeah, I mean, a lot of the Sixers have stepped up, and with Embiid back, they're showing it. Boston, on the other hand, again, they just don't. It seems like they don't have enough firepower. All you got is Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum. Um, yeah, you're really not going to win with just two players just putting in the effort. It has to be a complete team effort, especially with pretty much a full healthy Sixers team. And again, I harped on this before. Turnovers is one of the things I harped on every playoff game. Tatum and Brown had a combined 7 turnovers, and you're not going to win that way.
No. It is crazy how different a team Boston is if they don't have a 3-point shot going, and it's not just Boston; it's a lot of teams in the NBA. But they're a completely different team if they don't have the 3-point shot going. You saw in Game 4 they shot really well from the 3-point line, and they absolutely destroyed the Sixers. In this game, they only shot 28% from the 3-point line. Derek White, he's normally a better scorer than this. He hasn't scored, I don't think, really above 10 points at all in this series. And then if they don't have any contribution from Peyton Pritchard off the bench, they lose the game. So yeah, if it's just a Tatum and Brown show, they better score over 30 plus points for them to win. because if they don't get a contribution from Derek White or Peyton Pritchard, it just leads for a very long game when the Sixers have at least 4 scoring options, sometimes 5 with Grimes off the bench. The next series is your series, Tony. The Hawks and the Knicks. The Knicks take control of the series, going up 3-2 with the dominant 97-126 win last night. Jalen Brunson, the King of New York, stepped up once again for 39 big points. I'll actually let you take this over first. I'll let you go first on this one because it is your Knicks. It is the series, so I will let you go first.
Well, let me start by saying that I did watch Game 3. And I was somewhat disappointed the way that game started and the fact that I was pretty much almost yelling at my TV for them to stop shooting threes and go to the hole, which is what I've been saying since last week, since we started the playoffs. And we end up that yeah, some of the shots that they took in Game 3 just didn't make any sense. But you know, they came back, tied the series in Game 4. Now they took the lead in Game 5. The fact that they finally was able to slow down CJ McCollum for at least Game 5 was a huge. I mean, they held him to 6 points. They're finally realizing that you cannot have Jalen Brunson on McCollum. It's not going to work. You need your bigger guards. Granted, McCollum's not much more bigger than Brunson. They're roughly about maybe an inch different in height and about 10 pounds difference in weight. But the fact that McCullough has more physical strength than Brunson does, he could just basically just move to his spot without no problems. Compared to if he's playing against, if Bridges is on him, Hart's on him, which would make no sense because Hart's basically about the same size as Brunson, but Hart's a lot stronger. Or Anunoby's on him. They could stop him from getting to his spot. We didn't have a really big game from Anunoby or Cat. Anunoby has 17 points, Cat has 16 points. But they play team defense, which is, like I said, has been their staple for all season. And again, like I said, keeping Brunson off of McCullough helps out a lot. Now, they do got to get better at three-point shooting. I mean, they shoot 42% from threes compared to Atlanta, who shot 31. So, that's a big difference. But, as well as, turnovers was pretty much even. They had 10, we had 11. Steals was about even. They had 7, we had 6. The big difference was we had 6 blocks compared to their 2. So, and we had a block. Cat had 2 blocks. And I'm pretty sure the rest of the blocks came from Mitchell Robinson.
Oh boy.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Neutralizing CJ was your guys' number one priority, and you guys made it happen. Brunson throughout his career has been known to be a very not too good defender, no matter who he's matched up against.
True.
So just take him off of him, and again, let Hart guard him, Bridges, Anunoby. If you get to me, any good scoring out of Anunoby, I think plus 15 points out of Anunoby is a plus because he's there for his defense a lot of the times. So for him to get a double with 17 and 10 was very needed for this team. Mikal Bridges, again, his points isn't really showing up, but his defense is, so I'll give him a pass a little bit. I mean, having that a 0-point game in Game 3, I believe, was not very good for them. Yeah, in Game 3, he went 0 points, 0 for 3. Um, I don't know. Need a bit more offensive production out of him, I would say. Hart's there mostly for his defense. Yeah, but CJ going 3 for 10, 0 for 2 from three, over 3 from the 3 point line with 4 turnovers. If you guys can replicate that in game 6, you guys can get the easy dub in Atlanta. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't see him struggling again like that, but you guys definitely could with the perimeter defense that you guys have on your team. Uh, but yeah, again, you guys absolutely dominated this game from start to finish. You guys were like, no, we're not letting TJ beat us. We'll let the others beat us, and the others could not beat you guys. So you guys go up 3-2 in the series, and again, Game 6 is in Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if that Mikal Bridges trade was a good trade because he's really hasn't been panning out. So I mean, I'm hoping he finds his shooting rhythm and stuff like that. But yeah, he. I mean, 7 points, 3 on 6 shooting, 1 for 3 from downtown, 1 rebound and 1 assist. I mean, that's not good numbers. He basically had a single triple.
Mm. Yeah, like, I don't agree with a lot of what Stephen A says nowadays, but he was right when he went on a rant after Game 3, and he was like, "We got 5 first rounders for him. We could have gotten Giannis. We could have had this. We could have that." I don't blame him for getting upset. Like when we look at that again, 0 points, and he's just not being productive on offense. I mean, his defense sometimes makes up for it, but not all the time. Again, yeah, to get 1 rebound and 1 assist in an entire game is just, I don't just, I don't say unacceptable because again, I couldn't say I could go out there and get 5 points, but it's just for a guy of his caliber and for what you guys trade away for him, he needs to be more productive out there on the court.
Exactly.
And now the 4-5 matchup. Toronto has gone back home and taken both games at home, which is stunning to me. I mean, it is this series has felt like a 90 series. 89 to 93. Um like there's a lot of defense being played. Offenses are struggling a lot. Raptors as a team shot 13% from three in this game. The Cavs 25%. Again, that I know that drives you nuts, Tony. I know it absolutely drives you crazy. Like a team can't make a three to just stop shooting them, but perhaps a great performance from Barnes, Ingram, and Barrett. They're kind of three-headed monster. Um, that was a great performance by them. With 23, 18, and then 23 respectively. And then Colin Murray Boyles, the rookie, with 15. He's been consistent in the series, over 10 points per game in the entire series. The others, other than Harden and Mitchell for the Cavs, did almost nothing, uh, which was a lot of the just everybody with on the team. Again, if it wasn't Mitchell or Harden, it looks like the shots just weren't going to go down. Um, and Game 5 is back in Cleveland, where only the home teams in the series have won. I'm a bit shocked that the series is tied 2-2. I thought it was going to maybe go just 5. I thought Cavs were just going to win it in a gentleman's sweep, but the Raptors are showing some fight uh, to pull it back to 2-2. And we'll see how Game 5 holds out. But again, I'm a bit shocked that this series has already gone 5 games.
Um, I said when last week when we did on our show last week that the only way the Raptors will make this game competitive as if they got more out of the supporting cast. And Brandon Ingram is stepping up. I said Barnes and Barrett will have to find a way to lock down Mitchell and Harden. Um, they've been doing it. Forced combined 11 turnovers between Mitchell and Harden, with Harden having majority of them of 7. So they found a way to somewhat neutralize them. I mean, Harden had 19, Mitchell had 20. So they neither one of them really exploded. It was just a basic scoring output. But Ingram stepped up with 23. Barrett had 18. Barnes had 23. Um, and yet there's that rookie Murray Boyles. Wow, that kid is turning into something special. He stepped up with 15. Jacoby Walker. This kid needs to um 0 from 9 from the field. 0 for 8. I don't know if that was from the free throw line or that was probably from 3-point land. So you
That's
know
from
what I'm
three.
going to say about that. If your three ball is not dropping, take your ass to the hole. We'll get to the free throw line because you're really not helping out. Going, basically not putting up any points. Granted, he had 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals. But I mean, if he actually would have put some points on the board, this game would have been a blowout because it was only a 4-point victory. So just imagine if he would actually contribute some points, whether it was getting to the line, getting some free throws. Hey, you're contributing points. So with this game going back to Cleveland, basically I see Cleveland winning, game 5 because neither team could win on the road. So, but I didn't expect, I expected maybe Toronto, if they could pull it together, making more than a gentleman's sweep, and which is what they've done. But I see Cleveland probably going to take this in 7 games.
Yeah, again, how it's looking, neither road team can win. I found it funny that the 2 point guards for the Raptors combined for 2 points on 1 of 15 shooting, 0 for 13 from the 3-point line. Jamal Shed was the other point guard. Uh, yeah, they are getting very not good point guard play right now. But again, they are more defensive minded point guards, so I will cut them a little bit of slack. Which again, not 8 of your 9 shots were from 3, and you miss all of them. Isn't a good look. But again, he was doing other things out there with 3 steals, so I'll give him slack. They got the win, but I will agree with you. If he scored at least a little bit, and got to the free throw line, it could have been a different game. But yeah, again, this series is going to 5, and then the next game is, I think, tonight. Yeah,
And as a,
tonight at 7:30.
and not to cut you off, but as a point guard, you should have way more than 3 assists.
Hmm.
I mean, Scotty Barnes should not be, leading the team in assists with 6 of them. There's something wrong with that. That means you're, like you said, going 0 for 9, 0 for 8 from the 3-point line with only 3 assists. I mean, you're not really getting your teammates involved. You're just looking to get your shot, and you couldn't get none of them to fall. You didn't think about trying to just go into the, drive the ball to the hole, draw a foul, or take it to the hole and give it to a cutter who's more likely will be either Barnes or Burnett, or Barrett or even Ingram, those three are notorious for cutting to the basket. That's like 6 assists right there. So yeah, as a point guard, he needs to distribute the ball a lot better than 3 assists. I'm okay with the 3 steals and the 7 rebounds. I mean, you're not gonna get many point guards getting 7 rebounds. So I'm okay with that. But the 3 assists, yeah, I'm not okay with that.
No. But we'll see how this game goes. Again, it is starting in about 3 minutes on ESPN. So we'll see how game five goes. The next series went about as expected. The Thunder got the broom and swept the Phoenix Suns. Again, pretty handily in each game. I mean, the score was a lot closer than what it seemed. 131 to 122 was the final score of game four. Your former Nick, or Isaiah Hartenstein, with a big 18 points. Uh, if they can get contributions from Hartenstein like that, they're definitely going to go back to back. Chat with 24, SGA with a solid 31 on 10 of 17 shooting. And then AJ Mitchell, who was starting for the injured Jalen Williams, scored 22 points, and Alex Cruz scored 14 off the bench. Dylan Brooks impressed me in the series. Actually, he was one of the Suns' best scorers. Sorry, Dylan Brooks, didn't know your game like that because he was really he was really putting up big buckets in big spots. He had 33, 30. He had a game with 23. Another one now, like he has another in game four, he had 23. But again, I don't really have much in the series because it went exactly pretty much how I expected it to go. The Thunder are just way too good, way too talented. I mean, they have people who played 1 minute that could, on any normal real team, could play 20 and give me 15. So this roster is absolutely loaded. So good luck to anybody trying to beat this team, which will either be the Lakers or the Rockets, which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, I mean, this series went exactly as expected. The broom was brought out for the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, I didn't expect much out of this series either. I predicted to be four. I thought OKC might let them win a game and make it a gentleman's sweep, but yeah, I wasn't predicting much out of this. Um, that I mean, this Thunder team is a young team that has a lot of talent. So I mean, what more can you? I mean, there's not much more you can do. I mean, other than be physical with them, there's nothing you could do with this team. That's the only
And
way
if
I
you're
can
too
see.
physical, sorry, you're good.
So I was saying that's the only way I can see, beating the team is being physical with them. And I know what you're about to say. If you're too physical, you're getting yourself in trouble because of how soft the league is. Which is, I mean, absolutely correct. The league is, cotton nail soft.
What do you mean?
You know exactly what I mean. You breathe on a player and they falling down and there's a foul.
Yeah, no, SGA is notorious. I mean, I couldn't shout him this game. He didn't shoot that many free throws, but this series was game two was horribly officiated, absolutely abysmal in officiating. Devin Booker called out the one official, James Williams, which in all my years of covering NBA, I have never heard Devin Booker do that. So, but I mean, he had very good reason because that game two officiating was absolutely terrible. They gave him a technical foul for saving the ball out of bounds and accidentally hit a player on the Thunder, so that was absolutely disgusting. Um, this next series with the Blazers and the Spurs, I think the Blazers only won game two because of Wemby having his concussion in the middle of the game. But other than that, as soon as Wemby came back, it was pretty much they were back to normal. They get the dominant 95 to 114 win in game five to get the gentleman's sweep. Avdia led the way for the Trailblazers pretty much all season and all series this series with 22 points. Scoot Henderson has disappeared again after his 22 and then 30 points. He had 0 and then 5. So what a good backup or what a good starting punker they got there. But the interesting thing about the Blazers that about there you go about the Blazers that people forget. English is tough, but Damian Lillard's still on this team. Damian Lillard did not play at all this season, and with this young group, it can be a bit scary. Him and Drew Holiday are two great veteran point guards. That can really lead this team. So this team next year, watch out. They already made the playoffs as the 7th seed. They can make some noise next year in the loaded Western Conference. But the Spurs did what they needed to do. They got the series win in 5. Very balanced, extremely balanced scoring from all the starters 19, 17, 21, 10, 15, and then Dylan Harper with 17 off the bench. So, again, an absolute masterclass of a series for them. They handle their business. Now they await their round 2 opponent.
Yeah, I really don't have much on this game for the simple fact that we knew this wasn't going to be a series. The only reason why Blazers got a game was, with Wimbyami having being in concussions protocol, missing the game. We knew that there's nothing they could do that was going to beat the Spurs. It was impossible.
They gave it a valiant effort.
That's what you want to call it. But I mean, there's too much talent on the Spurs. And nobody in the funny thing is, with the exception of De'Aaron Fox, nobody on the Spurs actually scored 20 points. I mean, Julian had 19, which was pretty close. Wembyani only had 17. Vassell had 10. Castle had 15. And Dylan Harper had 17. So you talking about balanced scoring? You can't get any more balanced than that.
No, it was just impressive. Again, they have so much talent on this team, so much young talent on this team. It is all young players in their first, second, third years. Calvin Johnson's like the most veteran on the team. He's been there for like 5 years. So, just it's going to be Spurs and OKC in the top 2 for the next foreseeable future. In my guess in the West. I know it's a really out there guess, but how talented these teams are, it definitely should be that way. Now the most, to me, heated series that we've had so far in the playoffs, this Timberwolves and Nuggets series. There was a fight in Game 4 at the end of the game. Jokic and Jaden McDaniels and Julius Randle. Jokic was fined 50,000 and Randle was fined 35,000 because McDaniels laid the ball up with about 1.3 seconds left. Jokic didn't like it, sprinted at him. They got into a scuffle. After that, but no suspensions. Even though players left the bench, there was only 1 second left in the game. Game 5. In Game 4, injuries have come upon us. Dante DiVincenzo for the Timberwolves, unfortunately, in the first minute and 30 seconds of the game, tore his right Achilles. And then Anthony Edwards left the game with 2 minutes and 45 seconds left in the first half with a bone bruise and hyperextension in his left knee, and he will miss multiple weeks. So they will be without those two for the next foreseeable future if they do make it past the Nuggets in this series. I know Dosunmu went crazy for them in Game 4 to help them win this game with 43 points off the bench. But then in Game 5, the Magic ran out for the Timberwolves right now. They're still up 3-2 at least. But Randall, your guy Julius Randall, a bunch of former Knicks I'm mentioning right now. I mentioned Hartenstein, we mentioned Grimes, now we mentioned Randall. He had a good 27 points. with very efficient shooting, but 5 turnovers is not good. Um, and then the Nuggets, Jokic had his patented triple double. Murray had 24. Spencer Jones, he's more of a defensive minded guy, but he got 20 points on 4 or 5 shooting from three, by the way. And Cam Johnson chipped in with 18. So uh, Nuggets did what they needed to do, which was win this game and take it back to Minnesota with a bit of momentum. And Minnesota fans know that they are at a big disadvantage with not having DiVincenzo or Edwards.
I don't see Minnesota winning this series without at least Anthony Edwards. DiPincenzo did hurt, but once you lost Edwards, now you're thinking, okay, the game's going to be in Randall's hand, and we know how that's going to turn out. I've seen that play out too many times. Um, Rudy Gobert is basically a waste of space. Conley, Michael Conley, he's a bit up there in age, so I mean I can't knock him too much. But you really don't have anything else other than McDaniel's that can actually I mean Dossman gave up 18 points, but can he keep that up for the rest of the remainder of the series? And even then, they still lost by 12 points. So like I said, I mean, there's not much more Minnesota can do unless somebody has an out of body experience in the next game. At least get them past this series, because the next series that whoever they match up against, I don't see them winning regardless anyway. For the simple fact is, you lost DiPincenzo and Edwards, and I wish both of them a speedy recovery. For DiPincenzo, we know it probably won't be until late next season before he's back with the Achilles tendon tear, which again, is rearing its ugly heads during the NBA playoffs. We seen it last year with Tatum. Um, who else went down?
Lillard, Lillard,
Lillard,
Halliburton.
Halliburton, and there was somebody else. I think there was four of them that went down with Achilles tendons.
Those are the three I remember because,
So those are the big three names.
yeah, and it was all number zeros, and Dante DiVincenzo wears number 0.
I think this needs to stop wearing that damn zero.
So that's a bit of a coincidence and scary, and it's sad because we know as soon as they go down, they all go down the same way. They
Yep,
plant and accelerate off the 1 foot, and you can tell immediately that it's an Achilles tear. Ant Edwards is a bone bruise in his knee. So again, even if they make a pass this series, I don't know how much health he's gonna like how long it's gonna take him. I mean, they said multiple weeks. The only again chance they got is Io. If he goes off for 30 plus points again, like he did in Game 4 to help them win. Again, I mean, it's unfortunate because you don't like injuries playing this much of a factor in a series because the Timberwolves were really handling the Nuggets quite well. Gobert, yes, in this game was kind of a waste of space, but he has been kind of limiting Jokic and what he's been able to do, what we're used to seeing him do. I didn't mention Mike Conley because again, he's a vet. I like Mike Conley. He's been a great vet in the league. 4 points. A guy that hasn't played, I think, in a few games, other than like when he's really needed to play. I'm not going to give him too much slack on that
exactly. That's
because
why I didn't. That's why I didn't. Harp on him as much as
yeah, like
Rudy Gobert, because, like I said, I mean, if you only contributing 3 points and 7 rebounds, you're really not helping your team at all.
like as the game's expanded, he hasn't changed at all. I mean, he's just a defensive guy, and he'll get like a few dunks a game. But again, Io and Bones, Highland and Randall, that they need to kind of create their own shots and maybe get Conley open for a few threes. Maybe that'll help. But as of right now, I don't see the Nuggets losing this series. Again, even though it'll be tough to come down and win three in a row, they definitely could with how banged up the Timberwolves are. And then this motherfucking series, LeBron James, motherfucker. I just can't get away from him. He had the heroics in game 3. Rockets were winning. He got the steal. LeBron hit the game tying shot, went into overtime, and LeBron took over in overtime, and they won in game 3. Great, fantastic, woohoo! But in this game 4, I got to be happy again. LeBron James had 10 points, 9 assists, 8 turnovers. That's what I like to see. The Rockets finally won a game, but they were without Kevin Durant. Balanced scoring from them. All starters were above 15 points. And I think the role players' magic for the Lakers are finally running out. Smart and Kennard combined for 16 points on 6 of 16 shooting, and they did not make a 3. They were 0 for 5 with a combined 6 turnovers. So the only offense that the Lakers really had, I was watching this game, the only offense that they had was really DeAndre Ayton, who then got ejected in the third quarter for a flagrant foul on Operation Goon.
Which was
So,
a necessary elbow.
yeah. So, I don't know if you're watching this live, but you could kind of tell who came out with more energy, and it was pretty much after the first quarter, pretty much all the Lakers just kind of packed it in. They're like, all right, we just all played like 40 plus minutes in the overtime game. This Rockets team is coming out hitting threes. They have a lot of energy. Let's just accept it. We lost. Let's go back to Los Angeles and let's. They actually might get Austin Reeves back for this game, Game 5, with his oblique injury. So that would be huge. Even if he's not at 100%, if he's out there, that would be a huge boost for the Lakers. But they are up 3-1, and if LeBron takes a 3-0 lead, that would make me very happy.
Well, I mean, Houston changed up the way they played game 4. It was basically a full on blitz on LeBron James. Um, that's bad when you have more turnovers than two players combined. He had 8 turnovers, and Smart and Kennard had 6. And they held him to they literally just full court blitzed them, forced them to and with LeBron, he really needs to retire after the season because you could see that his skills are just starting to go away. He can't protect the ball like he used to. He's getting more sloppier and sloppier. He damn sure doesn't play defense anymore. When you force a team to have 23 turnovers, that which is unthinkable. I mean, you should win the game. Now, if they keep this up for the remainder of the series, I mean, hopefully they could get um, Durant back if they extend the series. But they need to, yeah. I mean, they need to keep doing what they're doing and keep on blitzing LeBron James, forcing him into turnovers. Because that's going to be the only way they're going to have a chance of extending the series.
Yeah, we'll give it to LeBron. He did own the mistakes and
Which is
and
the first.
turnovers. He, he was like, we had a lot of pick sixes in this game. We can't have that. No shit, man. Uh,
Well, here was a key word. He said "we." He didn't say "I."
we, yeah, it was we. Um, I got 8 of the 23 turnovers were him. But again, it was just a bad game for the entire Lakers team. They just, again, it looked like they kind of packed it in mentally. Uh, and we're like, all right, we're just gonna go back to Los Angeles and play Game 5 there. Um, not much on the NBA stuff. That is all the playoffs. I mean, for the awards, Cooper Flag won Rookie of the Year. Alexander Walker won Most Improved. Those two were pretty obvious. They had respectively both. The only person I was thinking other than Cooper Flag was Knipple on the Hornets with the 3-point records that he broke and shattered and stuff. But definitely give it to Cooper Flag. And then Alexander Walker, he had a great season for the Hawks. So, yeah. And then Milwaukee is finalizing a deal to sign former Grizzlies coach Taylor Jenkins to be their next head coach. So, yeah, that's all the NBA stuff. The only, the only thing, uh, the only other thing is that the Magic are winning 29-43 right now, or the Pistons are winning 29-43 right now against the Magic, with Kate Cunningham having 12 points. Alrighty then. Great
Okay.
mornings. Yep. Interesting. How do you want to do the conversation on the NBA draft or NBA? My goodness, English is tough. NFL draft. Motherfucker.
Um, we could pretty much just do the first round, and then discuss our teams. Is that Jay?
I don't think so.
Because he'd be the only one I would see doing that.
I don't know. Morning number 3. Okay.
Okay. All right. So with the first pick, oh shit, I just had it and lost it. There it goes. So, was there any surprises that you have to say was in?
The first round. Sorry, what? Okay.
Yeah, that's Jay.
That has to be him on just a different account. Okay.
I just by what he says right there, that just pretty much tells me that's pretty much
Oh
him.
shit! Here we go again. Yeah. Um. Not all right. Well, I can't say not really because I lost it. I lost it. There it is. Mendoza. We knew we were going to go number 1. Jeremiah Love to the Cardinals was very, I think, kind of a bit shocking to me. Because they just signed, I think, a few running backs, and they just went and got Jeremiah Love again, which is a need for them. But Tyler Algier literally signed with the Cardinals to be a number 1 running back, and they got Jeremiah Love. I know that you were probably upset with Carnell Tate being taken off the board so early.
I
Um,
was,
Wide receiver at Ohio State, right ahead of you guys. But then you guys got Avel Reese, which is
which I did not
I don't
expect.
know.
I did not expect him to fall the 5.
No, you were very happy, so I'll let you talk about that. Your Giants to me drafted a really good draft. But again, in the first round, I don't really have any surprises. At like really much at all. I don't. Went how I expected. The freaking Steelers got a freaking what do you call it? A fucking
Then I get
an
an
offensive
offensive lineman.
lineman. Yeah, like we got an offensive lineman in the first round. Doesn't shock me at all. Um, You guys got an offensive tackle, one of the best tackles in the draft at number 10. Uh, you guys did miss out on Caleb Downs.
What the hell?
There, yep, there you go. There's Jay. There we go. Um, yeah, I mean, a lot of trades. I could be here for about 2 days on here going over every trade that there was in the fucking draft of who got what, who got who. But yeah, I'll let you talk about your guys's your new. Just start talking, Tony, because I can't today.
So, yeah, I was, you know, I was watching the draft, and I'm like, okay, I'm like, Avril Reese cannot fall to number 5. That's impossible. And I'm thinking, okay, Tennessee's going to take him. Nope, they took Carnell Tate instead, which is who I was hoping we would get, because that would give Jackson Dawson a lovely 1-2 punch with neighbors. Um, and then I was thinking, okay, well, Reese hasn't been drafted yet. I know they've been, was heavy on Caleb Downs as well. So I'm thinking, okay, we're going to take Downs. Um, the funny thing is that as soon as Tate came off the board, the Giants pick was immediately in within like 5 seconds. When the announcers even said that, and I'm thinking, okay, all right, now they put it in immediately, so they must have had that card ready. And no, Andrew Tate. We're talking about Carnell Tate, this wide receiver from Ohio that went to that went to Tennessee. Fucking Jay. So once I heard that the card was in for the Giants already, I immediately started thinking, okay, they're taking Reese. So when my best buddy Commissioner Goodell announced it, which is probably about the only time I've actually liked Goodell, I was ecstatic. I was like, I mean, okay, it's not a defensive tackle that could possibly replace Dexter Lawrence. Um, but then I was also sort of thinking, okay, we got Burns, we got Tremont Evans, we got Tavon Thibodeau, we got Adu Carter, and now we're adding Reese. Where are we going to fit all these linebackers? Luckily for us, Reese is, you know, he's basically a higher upgrade than Micah Parsons because he could also, um, at Ohio State, he also played, some cornerback and safety position as well. So he's very versatile, and that gives us more, that will give us more option defensively on what we could do with our defensive schemes. It's almost reminiscent of the Steve Spagnuolo era when we had all those athletic defensive ends and outside linebackers. And then with our 10th pick, I was thinking, okay, we're going to pick a wide receiver. But I didn't know which wide receivers because the top 2 receivers was taken off the board. Tate was gone. Jordan Tyson was gone. And I'm thinking, okay, now who are we going to get? And then we got a man beast. And Francis Morgul. This guy, yes, granted he's a right tackle and he's going to play guard for the right now. Um, but this guy in his entire collegiate career has only given up 2 sacks. Let's think about that. In his entire collegiate career, what the fuck? Oh God. Okay. Jason, you have issues. But like I was saying, to have a guard, a tackle that has only given up, 2 sacks in his entire collegiate career, it's very impressive. Um, like I said, he's a man beast. He was literally moving players out of the way. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the first round draft picks. Like I said, the only thing that could have made it better is if we would have got a wide receiver. But hey, we got a tackle. There's gonna be a guard for right now to protect Jackson Dart, and I don't know if you've seen his draft interview where he told Jackson Dart he literally died for him. So I mean, yeah, he's the type that's going to go out there and put everything that he has on the line to make sure Jackson Dart's protected, and that's the type of offensive lineman we need.
Yeah. He's 6'5", 329 pounds. Have fun getting to the quarterback with him on the line. 329 pounds. Holy shit. But my favorite pick out of the draft for you guys was your third round pick. Malachi Fields out of Notre Dame. He's not the fastest, but he is 6'4". Some say some of the best hands in the draft. You guys traded up to get him, I believe. I think. I don't know. But
Let
he's
me
ranked
answer
as
Jay's
11th.
question. Let me answer Jay's question real quick. He asks, "How did he give up 2 sacks if he only has one?" Yeah, he gave up 1 sack this year, but his entire collegiate career, he only has given up two.
That's not what he meant.
Oh,
There you go.
this motherfucker.
There you go. Yep. That's why I just put my head down. I shook my head. I moved on. But yeah, that was one of my favorite. Again, you guys definitely missed out on the top two wide receivers in the draft, but I think Malachi Fields is going to work out really well for you guys, especially with all the other additions that you guys have. Like a Darnell Mooney, Calvin Austin. You guys have a great wide receiver room now, and adding a 6'4" Malachi Fields, who isn't the fastest, but he has great hands. I think will work out very well for you guys, in that sense. And then you guys got a defensive tackle, another offensive tackle, and then a linebacker to fill out your draft. So it was definitely, to me, a very good draft for you guys. Again, you guys need wide receiver, offensive guard, cornerback, D tackle, and offensive tackle. Which again, you said he's just going to move over to guard, which I think will work out just fine for him. So yeah, again, I think it was a great draft for you guys overall. I think that was again exactly the kind of draft that you guys needed.
Yeah, but let's talk about your Steelers.
Can we not?
Well, I mean,
I'm okay with the tackle. All right, I'm right with the tackle. If he was ranked 6th in his position, Max Elanker. I don't want to even try to say his last name, but I tried. Uh, he's 6'5", 321 pounds. He had the fastest time of an old lineman in the 40-yard dash at 4.91. Again, I'm right with that one. We got another wide receiver in the second round, Jermaine Bernard. But then we drafted Drew Aller, Penn State. What the fuck are we doing? We just put Aaron Rodgers on this exclusive tag or whatever the fuck we did with him. Because Rodgers has still not given us a answer of to what he wants to do yet. We still have Will Howard, who is going into his second year in the league. We still have Mason Rudolph. So, what the fuck are we drafting Drew Aller for? That one makes absolutely no sense to me. None.
Um, I'm trying to come up with something that would actually make sense. But right now, I really can't think of anything. Because it really doesn't.
It's like again, we have Will Howard. Will Howard hasn't played a game for us. Why would we draft Drew Aller? And Jay. I'm not saying Drew Aller isn't good. I just don't get it. We just drafted Will Howard last year.
Yeah, I really can't understand that process as well because it doesn't make sense with to me as well.
Again, I'm glad that we got receiver high in the second round. We did address, yeah, that we have to play our cards right, which we haven't in a long time. And again, if frickin' Aaron Rodgers wants to stay around for another year, it's gonna prolong Will Howard's development and fucking Aller's um, development. So we got two wide receivers, we got a cornerback, we got two tackles, a safety. I'm all right with this draft. I mean, again, other than the Aller pick, I'm not too upset. I mean, it said that we needed a quarterback, a guard, offensive tackle, a safety, and a D tackle. I mean, I guess. Um, but
There- there-
I just, yeah, I know. Aaron Rodgers does not know what he wants to do, at all, and that's no. I haven't even. I mean, I did not watch the draft at all.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
They got. They didn't even have a first round pick.
No, they didn't. That's
They
what
got
that's
C.J.
what he was.
Allen.
That's what he was saying.
Oh yeah, he didn't get a first round pick. No, like I'm fine with our first round pick and our second round pick. Our third round pick to me didn't make any sense. But I mean, with the draft grades, Mel Kiper had some draft grades. He gave us like a B plus, I think. I think,
Um,
if I
I
remember.
do want to say the biggest surprise of the first round, and I did not see this happening, was the Rams taking Ty Simpson.
Oh yeah, maybe there's been internal discussions about like if Stafford has said, "Listen, I don't know how many more years you're gonna have left. If you see a QB in the draft that you really like, just take him."
Well, according to the reports that morning, the morning of the draft, apparently Sean McVay did call Stafford and informed him that they was going if he was available that they was going to take Ty Simpson. And Matthew Stafford was perfectly okay with that for the simple fact is like he said he doesn't know how many more years he's going to play, and for them to start preparing for the future. Which is it's perfect for Ty Simpson because now he could sit and learn behind. Nope, not doing it. And learn behind Matthew Stafford and learn the offense and stuff like that without having to be rushed onto the field for no reason. So he could get like a year or two to learn behind Stafford before taking over. Um, yeah, I did not see that one coming at all from um, the Rams.
No, but I think it's very smart, and
Yes.
Stafford's always been a team player. So that was, I think, very good on their part. Whereas I think they've learned or they learned from the Falcons situation a few years ago when they signed Kirk Cousins and they got, I think, Ritter in the draft, and then there was a big hoopla about why would they do that. Um, but yeah, I mean they had a solid draft. Then Ty Simpson, they got a tight end, offensive tackle, another wide receiver, and a D tackle. The Chiefs had a sneaky good draft, I would say. They really focused on the defense, which they've been losing a lot of pieces on their defense. They got probably no, not probably the best cornerback in the draft at number 6, uh, Mansour Delaney. Um, Again, I think the Chiefs they're always a pretty good drafting organization and team. Again, they know what that they need. Again, they went 4 on the defense, and they scooped up a wide receiver on their last pick, or sorry, a quarterback on their last pick because it's why not?
I mean, we also drafted a very the fourth ranked cornerback in the college football in Colton Hood. So our defense is starting to look more and more impressive now. I'm just hoping that the defensive tackle we drafted, which I don't think he's going to start right away, um, could turn into another sexy Dexy.
Mm.
I'm still upset about losing Dexter Lawrence, but with the way the draft turned out, it's kind of easing the pain a little.
Yeah, the Eagles pissed me off because they they traded up because the Steelers actually really liked Malachi Lemon uh, out of USC.
That's what we're hoping for.
They should with how much talent they have, but they traded with the Cowboys up to get Malachi Lemon away from
Uh,
us.
Jeff, you want to answer that question for me?
Dummy. Yeah.
There you go, dummy, Jason. He's not even close to being upset over losing Daniel Jones. Yeah, the fucking Eagles pissed me off with taking Lemon ahead of us. Again, I didn't watch it, so I'm not gonna act like I know everything. The Jets had a very good draft, actually.
Yes, they did.
Um, they had a fucking great draft. Uh, this is a team that could do something in the next year. This is a draft for next year. All these guys are going to be, you know, all right in year one probably, and then next year they'll probably get a quarterback, and then in the top of the draft, and then it'll really work out for them. Um, the Browns had a really good draft. Everybody said the Browns had one of the best drafts in the league, according to the expert, uh, whatever his name is, Mel Kiper. Uh, he he gave a draft grade to every team. I'm gonna
Yeah, no, he
try
gave
and
us a B
find.
plus. The fuck,
Yeah, he gave you guys a B
asshole!
plus. Um,
I thought
he
we
gave
had a
the
great
Browns.
fucking draft.
Yeah, he gave the Browns an A, the Cowboys an A. Um, He gave the Steelers, I think, a B plus as well. Or he gave us a C plus. I'm gonna look. No, he gave the Niners a C, which was the lowest. Yeah, he gave you guys a B plus.
I mean, how you give us a B plus when we drafted the number one? Hold on, okay, 1 second. So we drafted the number one linebacker in the nation, as well as the number one offensive tackle in the nation, the number four cornerback in the nation, in your first three picks, and that's a B.
It's B plus.
Still,
Yeah, we got a B. Yeah, but adding Aller was a strong arm passer from down the road at Penn State in round 3. It was a good hedge with one eye future. Yeah, Howard and Aller are not projected as sure starters, but we have options right now to develop them. I mean, we needed the offensive tackle help. That was pretty much it for the draft, I believe. Not so much breaking news, but news that happened today. And Justin Simmons on the Broncos has announced his retirement, which was shocking to me. I did not see that coming, and the Texans re-signed linebacker Aziz Al-Shaair to a 3-year extension. So the NFL world is just very busy as always. I hope so. I really, really hope so.
yes, we know you love Brock Purdy.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, George Pickens finally signed his franchise tag. I believe that's it for all the sports news.
I know Fox Sports has lost their mind because they're saying that the Giants' best pick was Hood. I'm sorry, when you got two of the top players at their position, how is the fourth best player the best pick out of the draft? Somebody makes that make sense to me.
I don't know. And the only update,
Do the Spurs get past the Nuggets or the Timberwolves? I would say
yeah,
yes.
yes. I think if they play the Nuggets, that series will go 6 games. They'll win 4-2. If they played the Timberwolves, they're gonna probably sweep them with how bad that team is right now.
Okay, we're not reading that one about the Cowboys going all the way. Yeah, okay.
No. Yes, it's sponsored or partner time.
Oh,
The only other update I have is that the Magic are losing 53-66 against the Pistons right now. Cade Cunningham has 27 in the first half
that's
on 8
crazy.
of 13 shooting and 3 of 4, and he's 8 for 8 from the line. The leading scorer for the Magic is Paulo Banchero with 22.
And we did so well versus the Blazers, and when Miani was hurt for half the series. Well, he wasn't hurt. He just had a concussion. He only missed one game.
I mean, 1.5. If you want to be technical,
Well, yeah,
with
because he left
Bama
in
was in
the
that game.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but the Timberwolves are taking it to the Nuggets
it's the
tonight.
Nuggets. Well, they were.
Yes, but they've lost DiVincenzo and Anthony Edwards is hurt,
Yeah,
and
so
they're
they're
saying
two.
with Anthony Edwards he could be out for several weeks.
Yeah, and DiVincenzo tore his Achilles, so he's gonna be out for pretty much the entire whole next year.
Man, the Colts may have broken my heart, but the Spurs might not. It's a possibility. I mean, with that young core that they have, um, I could see them and the Thunder going 7 games if they make it to the conference finals. How about the fucking Bears wanting to move to Indiana?
Well, I think we talked about that. Like,
Yeah, we've talked about it like a month ago. It's not the. It's really not the Bears that wants to move. It's the fact that the city of Chicago is refusing to um, help build a brand new stadium. With the Bears actually putting up majority, like I think it was like 80% of the money, and the Chicago wouldn't come off, the remaining 20%, which I think is, if a team is putting up 80% of the cost for a brand new stadium, why not put up to 20%?
hmm
Yeah, some states get kind of, some cities get kind of cheap when it comes to stuff like that. Exactly. And the funny thing is, the report was that they spend more money on immigration than it would cost to put up the percentage of the 20% to help the Bears build a brand new stadium. So that is crazy that they're spending more money on immigration than it is to just help build a brand new stadium for the Bears. So yeah, that's absolutely insane, especially for a team that's been there. Pretty much the time from the first time they was in the league. Yeah, and that's how you treat that team. I mean, that's kind of the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen. Um, to a team that brought your championship, been to another Super Bowl. It's just it's blatant disrespect. Pretty much.
yeah,
So I don't have anything else.
no, I don't either. Other than the partner.
Yep. Oh, and I did find out the official pronounce. Now I can't speak.
Boop-a-da-ba-doo-ba-ba-ba-ba-bow.
Ugh. And I did find out the official pronunciation of how to say our partner's name. It is Dubby.
It's Dubby.
I mean, sorry, not it's Doobie.
Oh, it's Doobie. What do
Yeah, it's
elves learn
Doobie.
in school? What do elves
Nope.
learn in school?
The alphabet.
Please do the sponsor or the partner, please.
And now a word from my partner. This is your sign to stop drinking mid energy. Still sipping on weak fuel that leaves you crashing at 30 minutes later? Embarrassing. Enter Doobie, the energy that doesn't play nice. Clean, mean, built to keep you locked in while everyone else burns out. No jitters, no crash. Just smooth, relentless energy that hits you like a wake up call you can't ignore. One scoop and suddenly you're outworking everyone. Your focus is razor sharp and excuses gone. Let's be real. You don't need another drink, but you don't. Yeah. Let's be real. You don't need another basic drink. You need something that keeps up with you. Doobie, stay wired, stay winning, stay dangerous. And again, for those of you that would like to get some energy from them, um, just go on their website, order what you want, put in our code DropZone and get 10% off. And right now they're still doing buy one get one free. I don't want to know.
It's to do with the comment above it.
Oh, I didn't see that. Man, I had to cool in on the coffee. My blood pressure was higher than Snoop Dogg at a.
Oh
Okay.
my god. Yeah, Jay, you need to lay off caffeine in general.
How much caffeine are you drinking, dude?
He's way too much. He drinks way too much coffee.
Good lord. What do you think of the Pistons? I think they're pretty much done.
I mean, they're up by 6 at halftime right now. Kate Cunningham, once again, is just leading the charge with 27 points, and Harris has 10. Uh, all the rest of them are in single figures. Robinson has 4, Duran has 7. They have a chance to turn around. They're at home right now, but winning 3 straight is going to be very, very tough to do.
Especially when they're
I
not
don't think
getting any help from anybody else other than Kate Cunningham and Harrison Barnes. At least one pot of coffee every morning. Good lord.
Yeah, Jesus. Yeah. And then in the other game that's actually on right now, the Raptors and Cavs. The Cavs are up by 1 with 8 minutes left in the second quarter, 46-47. Yeah, I mean, I can't say that the Pistons are totally out of it, but it'll be very tough for them to win 3 straight. They're up by 6 right now at halftime. Yeah, the score is 40. It's actually
46 27.
49. It's actually 49 to 47 right now. That stupid 6-7 crap.
Good lord.
That stupid 6-7 crap.
Um, they might win this game, but like me and Jeff was saying, it's going to take a Hercules effort from the role players to make this a 7 game series. Because, like I said, outside of Harrison Barnes and Kate
You mean
Cunningham,
uh, Tobias Harris?
I mean Tobias Harris, um, out of Tobias Harris and Kate Cunningham, they're not getting anything else from anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, they have a bunch of guys that definitely could. Duncan Robinson, we've seen in the playoffs, he can go off. and get his 3-point shot going. Duran, he needs to show up eventually, but then he got Levert off the bench, who's a scorer, and he got Dennis Jenkins off the bench, who's a scorer as well. They need to start getting into their flow on the offense. I don't know what's going on with it, but they need to kind of start to get it going. Again, they have ignitable guys in the rotation, but they've got to make their shots, and so far in the series they haven't been able to.
Yep. So I mean, that's pretty much all we got.
Yeah, that's it.
So once again, until next week. Yes, WWE is heating up.
Hmm.
I was going to do a WrestleMania recap. I was going to record it and just post it, but I never got around to it. My back was killing me that weekend so badly. Jeff would tell you I really basically didn't move at all over the weekend.
Hmm. Yeah, it was. Nope, didn't move.
Yeah, I was in so much pain. I mean, it's still bothering me, but not as bad as that weekend. Yeah, I was. Yeah, there was one day I was like almost literally in tears every time I moved. I was in so much pain that I wasn't up to it. But I might still do a recording for it, over this weekend as a late one.
Hmm.
I mean, it is what it is. It's part of getting old. Eventually it's going to happen. You can't stop it unless they come out with ways to get new bodies.
Yeah, let's get a whole new back.
I need a whole new body. Period.
Hmm. Yeah, thank you for everyone for watching. Tune in. Jay, of course, with the entertainment for us.
Don't tell Jeff that.
Yeah, I'm 23, but I feel it already. I'm getting old.
Yeah, me too. So once again, thanks Jay for giving us entertainment as
Yeah.
always. We still need you on the show at least sometime. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's better to have you on in person. And once again, as always, if you did miss our show, you can catch us uh, YouTube. But have a good night.
Have a good night,
Um, you
Jay.
can't you can't catch us on Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, as well as iHeart Podcasts. The episodes are usually uploaded within. Lately, I've been able to get them uploaded in less than an hour. It depends on how fast I can get them downloaded from our server. You have a filter on? Okay.
Yeah. And not a coffee filter? I don't know.
You can catch it on Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio Podcasts. Yes, you can listen to them, and some of them will have short videos, like a 90-second video.
He's being a smartass.
Yeah, I know. But I was just referring, in case.
He's just got to keep going.
Yeah. All right, we'll see everybody next week.
Bye.